I'm up here in the attic right now and I'm checking out an air handler. I want to show you something. Tell me if you see something wrong here. That is our secondary drain line coming off of our pan. Well, it's not really much of a line. It's capped off as soon as it comes out of the pan, so it's not actually going anywhere. And before you jump to conclusions, it's not around back either. That secondary drain line is pretty important, especially since this unit is sitting up in the attic space. Any water that collects in that pan could rust out that pan, and then once that pan's rusted out, all that water is coming into the house and it's going to cause damage. This definitely needs to be plumbed to the exterior. Furthermore, these drain lines are usually plumbed to discharge over a window. That way you can see it from the inside of your house. You can see water dripping out of this line, and that is an indication of a clogged primary drain line. And if you got a clogged primary drain line, trouble's right around the corner. What's up, folks? I'm under the house today. You got to get down here and check things out whenever you got a pier and beam structure. We need to make sure all the piers are in contact with the beam, that we don't have any damage. We're also looking for termites down here, plumbing leaks, all kinds of things. But there is one thing I found here that I want to show you. Check it out. Now, besides the fact that we have a ton of insulation falling out from underneath this house, this right here is what I want to show you today. This is the dryer duct, and it is terminating to the crawl space. You can see dryer length and everything kind of collecting down here. That dryer duct should exit the property, not under the house. It's also not going through the right material. It's a corrugated aluminum tubing. It really should be going through smooth metal ducting. And like I say, going to the exterior of the house. This is going to cause humidity and things underneath the house. You don't want that, as well as all this dryer lint down here. Not a good situation. It's hot. 93 degrees today. I have the AC running inside, obviously. And this is the secondary drain line for one of the ACs on this property. Check it out. We are dripping water onto the roof. Let's go see what the pan looks like in the attic. Oh yeah, there we go. Full of water. That pan being full of water, that's an indication that the primary drain line is clogged. It's time to get somebody to come out here and take care of that before this causes a bigger problem. This will either trigger the float valve and the system will shut off, or the float valve will be faulty and then water will go over the pan and come into the house. Furthermore, the longer this water sits in the pan, the likely it will develop rust. When the pan develops rust, that rusty water goes through that pipe and onto the roof, and it's going to make everything rusty and not pretty. I'm doing an inspection today on a house that's, I don't know, around 20 years old. So it's a little bit on the older side, but it's very beautiful. It's all been redone, and so it's very nice looking. However, I've been here for a few minutes and I've already found a couple of issues. Check it out. For starters, these are our water heaters. As you can see, we've got a completely disconnected flue up here, as well as both valves are turned off. I attempted to light the water heaters with permission, of course, but I was unsuccessful. So something's going on there. It needs to be looked at. Check this out. As I was walking out the front door, I noticed this doesn't look right. There is no weather stripping at all on the entire front door. GFCI not functioning properly. Poorly sealed windows. Missing exterior exhaust fan cover. Unsealed post-tension cable ends, and downspout lower turn missing. Lots left to do. Should be interesting. Look at this nonsense. Okay, we got a new construction house. Here's our furnace, and here's our pan for our AC. Look, here's our float valve just laying in the pan. Yeah, that's great. Okay, now we got duct work here. Check out the bend on this duct. That's way too sharp. It's probably not putting off the right amount of air in that area. We're gonna take a look at that later. These ducts are just laying on top of one another. There should be some space in between them. This will create condensation, possibly drip onto the ceiling. It's just not quality work. You may be thinking that the house that you're buying is only a couple years old, so probably doesn't need an inspection. I'm going to show you why that might not be the case. The house I'm doing right now is only a couple years old. I'm not sure whether the current owner ever got an inspection or not, but I found a few things today. I'm going to show you what they are. Along the back side of the property, we have some flashing that is starting to lift. We have some that's not very well painted here too, but we have some more lifting going on right here. These nails have backed themselves out a little bit. This flashing is lifted. It is now subject to moisture intrusion with wind-driven rain. We've also got quite a bit of deterioration in the caulking around these windows here along the back side of the property. You can see some pretty large openings. These are going to be areas that are also subject to moisture intrusion. Then there's this. I'm not sure what happened here, but we have some impact damage. You can see the siding is pretty badly damaged right over here. One more thing. Got some plumbing vent stacks over the primary bath, and you can see this one here still has the cap on it. Take a look at the temperature of the hot water in this house. The safest temperature to keep your hot water at is 120 degrees. As you can see, this one borders 150. That can lead to scalding pretty quickly and pretty easily. Now, a lot of us like to keep the water hotter in our houses, and nobody's saying that you can't do that. We're just here to let you know what is considered safe and what is outside of safe. I just arrived on a custom home inspection, and I just started opening up all the doors and getting everything ready to inspect, and walked up into an attic access, and look what I found. This area of the house has no insulation. This is over the study. Here's the air duct going down to the study. You can see some recessed can lights back over there. They blew in insulation on the top area of the house, but they forgot to come in here and insulate this section. Believe me, folks, this happens more than you think.